With anything social media, anything Facebook, it is going to take a little while for you all to get here. So I'm just going to put the correct title up. I don't know what happened there to this interview, so we can see what the lovely Kelly is going to be sharing with us. So today we're going to be talking about how to grow an organic audience full of raving fans. So that's what we will be showing. Okay, so here we are. So Kelly and I are going to be sharing some really great content with you today. I'm absolutely delighted that you are here. So as you come on, please come and say hi. Really want to make this a very kind of high vibe, very engaged session. And Kelly's here. She's going to share some great content with us. So we've got lots of you joining us. It's absolutely fantastic to see you joining us on this Monday morning. And I would love to know where in the world you are as well. So that'd be really great if you could pop into the comments and let us know where in the world you are. Hi, Sarah. Sarah's here. Fantastic. Lovely to see you here. Terry's here. Fantastic. Woo, loads of you are here. It's awesome to see you here. Thank you very much. So I would love to know where in the world you are. I'm in York in the UK. Where in the world are you, Kelly?
I'm all the way up north in London. It's not very sunny.
Yes, it's a little bit grey here as well. But yeah, Kelly and I are probably like we're the northern end of the country, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Kerry's in Sheffield, love to see you here. Caroline is in Portugal, but normally in Berkshire. So how lovely. I hope you've got some great weather there, Caroline. Hi, Shelley. Shelley's here. She's in Yorkshire as well. Terry's here. Oh, it's absolutely awesome to see you here. I am so delighted that you're here. Who's excited for this interview? Yeah, so Sarah's in County Durham. Very beautiful place to be. Okay, so I really want to kind of honour our time, honour your time. So I'm going to kind of introduce this series of interviews, explain why I'm inviting people like Kelly to come and rock up on a Monday morning at 10:30 and share their story. And I also, obviously, will be talking to Kelly because that's the whole point of us being here. So this interview series, The Fearless Entrepreneur, this has been kind of bubbling away in me for a long time. And previously I've done an interview series. I don't know if anybody can remember Blab, but we used to use Blab for interviews and that was pretty awesome. But what really this interview series is about is connecting you to real women who are successful in their business and who have got an inspiring story to come and share with you, to inspire and motivate you, and for you to be able to see that you can have the success that you truly dream of having in your life and in your business. And it's also about giving you the real strategies that will help you grow an awesome business. And if any of you have been following me for a little while, you might have seen my blog post about 2 weeks ago when I had a little mini rant about kind of fear-based marketing. And what I've invited people like Kelly to do is to come and be part of my world for this morning. And not for us to come from a place of fear, but for us to come from a place of service for my audience, for Kelly's audience, and anybody else who's joining us. And actually for people like Kelly to share how they are, how they are growing their awesome business. And if you've been following Kelly over the last 6 weeks, you will understand why I've invited her to come here and why we've chosen this particular topic for you. But let me just introduce you to Kelly if you haven't come across Kelly before or if you've just recently connected with her. So Kelly is, she's a lovely, wonderful, creative web person who's responsible for my gorgeous website and for maintaining it and for coping with me and my very, very short demands of changes to my website, sales pages and all the rest of it. And Kelly's a mastermind client of mine, and she is also responsible for working with many amazing clients, including Universal Studios, some really big music arenas, and Hay House authors. So quite an accolade. But not only is that, she also is an award-winning business owner, and I'm so proud of Kelly for owning that. So yeah, she's won several awards in the business arena for being super brilliant and successful. And Kelly's kind of magic is that she helps female entrepreneurs to have a wildly successful online business. So that's pretty awesome, isn't it? Let me know if you want to have a really super successful online business as well, if that's what you're here to learn. And who better to kick off my interview series of real women who are doing amazing things is kind of Kelly, because in the last 6 weeks, she has created the most amazing results. So if you've been in Kelly's world for a little while, you probably know that she's been through quite a serious surgery, and she's actually recuperating right now, but she's never one to sit back on her laurels. And during the last 6 weeks that she's been kind of heading towards surgery, gone through surgery and come through the other side of it, she's actually managed to double her audience, and she has recently attracted over 30 brand new clients. Pretty awesome for somebody who's recuperating. I'm really looking forward to January when she's back on fire completely to see the magic that she's doing. So I really just wanted to kind of set the scene, let you know why we're here, and the lovely Kelly is going to share with us all just how she has managed to double audience without a single Facebook ad, because I know some of us really have that kind of belief that you can't do glorious things in your business unless you completely use all of these strategies, and she's going to share exactly how she did that. So I can't wait to speak to Kelly. I'm sure you're excited for her to share this content as well. So welcome, Kelly.
Hi.
Absolutely lovely that you're here today. Excited! We're all excited. So really, what I'd love for you to do is to kind of set the scene and share with us how you became a female business owner. Was it something you always planned to do, or have you kind of come to this through a different way? How did you become a female business owner?
It was something that I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to run my own business. But I think back when I was younger, the perception of having your own business was only the wealthy people could do it. So I was from like the valleys where everybody kind of worked really, really hard and were really struggling. They didn't have a lot. Like we used to have like secondhand presents for Christmas and things. So the perception of running your own business was just, nah, it's never going to happen. So I didn't. So I just kind of crafted my career in the NHS and kind of corporate world. And then it wasn't until I had my youngest son 10 years ago that I was on maternity leave. 6 months with my older son wasn't long enough, so I thought I'd be bright and have a whole year off. And I was just bored. I was just like, what am I doing? I couldn't speak to my friends because all I could speak about was dirty nappies and how often I was up through the night. And I was like, oh my God, I've become a really boring person. So I kind of thought, right, I need to engage my brain. And I just researched really how to build a business online, or what I can do with my skills online from home. And that's kind of how it happened. It was just purely by accident. And I stumbled across the term VA, virtual assistant, which was really alien in the UK and was very much US based. So just mingled with a lot of overseas people in forums and things. And just started doing podcasts when podcasts were coming out. So I was being interviewed by people because obviously they were like, oh, a UK person as a VA. That's new. So I was being interviewed for things, and I just thought, you know what, actually there's a demand and I can just make a go of this. So I did. And that's how it was born.
I absolutely love the fact, this is very typical of you, I think, Kelly, that, you know, you get this time that you're not actually doing a job, so you create yourself a business. Absolutely love it. I absolutely think that's amazing and totally you. So I'm not surprised with what you've achieved in the past 6 weeks. So that's brilliant. It's really always really interesting to see how people have come about these ideas of becoming a business owner. And I love the idea that actually you've always had that niggle inside you that you wanted to run your own business. And even though it wasn't what people from the Valley did, you still went forward with your dreams, and you overcame that belief that's been passed down to you from other people. And you've actually got here where you are today. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, Kelly.
Yeah. So you can do it. That's my message. Do it.
Definitely. And this is very much what these interviews about. It's about showing to other people that if Kelly and I can have a wildly successful business, so can you as well. So that's very much about inspiring. So Kelly, could you share with us all what your business looked like kind of 12 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, it was totally different from what it is now. I was probably still classing myself as a VA. I was really busy, like I was turning work away because I was very busy, but I was very cheap. So I was working all of the time, but yet I wasn't making a lot of money, because at the end of the day, as a VA, as a traditional VA, you would just work and get paid for the hours that you work. So there was no scope to build a widely successful business because you were just earning the same amount all of the time. And I was teaching, I was working with clients who were doing that, who were putting together membership sites, or I was putting membership sites together for them and putting together products online for them. But I just couldn't do that in my own business. I didn't know how. I didn't really know who I wanted to work with, and all of that was just messy. I was just completely overwhelmed, and I was just always stuck in my business rather than thinking outside of the box and how I can grow it for myself. Yeah, so it was just totally different, and I think I lacked a lot of confidence as well, and that is key to where I am now.
Definitely. And it's interesting to see that it's been such a journey as well. I think there's so many messages outside in the online world telling us that business success can happen overnight. And it's absolute nonsense. I mean, there are a few occasions when people achieve this, but actually they generally burn out. So it's not about a sustainable business. It's very much about discovering who you are and who you want to work with and how you want to work with them. And I love that you were stuck in that old business model of exchanging your time for money. And there really isn't any scope for growth unless you're prepared to work more hours. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. And what I'd love for you to share now is how you've gone from where you were 12 months ago to where you are now, where you have doubled not only your Facebook group, which is pretty awesome because there's a lot of Facebook groups out there to choose from, and how you've also doubled your email address. And it's not just about look at the size of what my group is and my email list. It's the fact that using this and the strategies that you've used organically, it's the fact that you've also engaged with these people, you've developed amazing relationships with them, and in lots of ways you've actually recruited them to come and work with you. So really, what has happened for you to make this shift, Kelly?
I had space, which goes back to what happened when I first started the business. Obviously, I got poorly, and it meant that I had to have some time out. Then that escalated into going on holidays. My husband got poorly, so I spent the whole week on holidays by myself, looking after the kids, and I had all of that space to think. And I think that's important. I think when you're in your business all of the time, you're kind of chasing something, but you don't know what you're chasing. And your mind is just full and you're so overwhelmed with everything that you've never got that clear space to kind of think about how you can grow. so for me, it was having that time out and having complete clarity. And that is key. You really need to be clear on who you want to work with and what their struggles are, and really get like personal into what they find really difficult and challenging in their business all of the time. And I think for the whole 10 years that I was doing it, that I did, even though I was working with female entrepreneurs, I didn't really drill down to the kind of bare bones of who they are and what their struggles are. And I remember having a conversation with you when I first started, like you started coaching me, and whenever you said, well, what are they struggles, I was like, I don't know. But now I know, and I think that is really kind of fundamental in how my business has changed, that I know who I want to attract, and it's not about the numbers, and it's not about how many people I've got on my Facebook groups, not how many people I've got in my email list. It's about who they are and the relationships you build up with them. Because I can spend loads of money buying Facebook likes, running an advert to get loads of Facebook likes on my Facebook page, but that means nothing. It's about the people, and I think it's about going above and beyond just posting in your Facebook group. It's about actually really helping them and kind of doing more than expected. So for me, I think what the key was, like I say, is being totally and 100% clear who my soulmate client was, what they need, and then just showing up every single day. And even through surgery and even through being poorly, I was still there. And I think that kind of is testament to you as a business and how much you want it and how much you value who you work with. It's important.
Yeah, so loads of people are really resonating with this, Kelly. You know, Judy's saying she loves the personal side. I normally work in person and love the connection. So when just going back to what you said, that when we first started working together, it was this not knowing who your soulmate client is, and being vague about it. And really, niching can feel one of the hardest things to do in our businesses, and we do resist it because it feels difficult. But once you have done this, you're purely talking to that one person. And obviously, you know, in your case, there are hundreds and thousands of this type of person. And in terms of, you know, the kind of getting to the specifics is, you know, in the kind of 6 weeks that you have created this enormous growth in your business, in terms of the specifics, you've been able to go out there and talk directly to the heart of your soulmate clients. So what are the ways that you actually did this, Kelly?
I realised I had a Facebook group already, but I realised that the people in that group weren't the people that I decided that I want to work with anymore. And that group was never engaging, not really, and it just felt like I was pulling teeth. So I thought, right, these are the people that I want to work with. Put a notice in the group and said, if you don't want to be in here, if this is not you, then feel free to leave. And then I just kind of showed up in groups and just helped them. I didn't market myself, and I just helped people, answered questions, just providing complete value to them. And that way you can show that you know your stuff. And one of the biggest things that I did that really turned around my Facebook group, at least, was a challenge. So the first thing that I did was run a Facebook challenge in my group, and that was a 5-day challenge to build a membership site. So that was kind of the first thing I did in my group. So I knew these people wanted to have some automation in the business. They wanted some recurring income in the business. So they were the first people that I called into my group. And I think I had something like maybe about 150 new people that week to get into my group. That's and amazing. I advertised it. It was amazing, honestly. And I didn't really do a lot. I posted on Instagram consistently. I did it like 3 times a day or something. And I kept posting on my Facebook group, on my Facebook page, in my Facebook group, in groups that I knew that I was allowed to advertise, and then looked for posts. So like if I was in a group and somebody had a daily post where you share your freebies, just posted that. And I just showed up every day. And then I realised on the back of that what people really struggled with. So then I did another challenge, because the first one worked really well. So I thought, well, if that worked, then this other one's going to work. And everybody just started engaging. It was just like, this is the content that you want. And you feel like you can ask questions in the group, because it was a nice group. It is a lovely group. And people connected with me as a person, because I was showing up as myself and not pretending to be this big, high and mighty business person saying you can have this overnight when you can't, and just be completely realistic with them. So, yeah, so I think it was just showing up every day and providing good value and good content that they actually really, truly want.
So it's the consistency and the value that you are adding to not just your own group, but in other people's groups. And I think so many women understand that their soulmate clients are out there on social media. So they spend hours on social media, and before they know it, their precious time has disappeared. But the way that you've approached it is so strategic to actually, get rid of the need to market and promote yourself all the time, but to come from a point of service. So you were serving like your own audience, but you were also serving in other people's audience. And I know the groups that I'm in, it's like people ask stuff and I just totally know that it's you. So I just tag you all the time and stuff. And I know that other people do that as well. And this is about your reputation now that's being built in a really short period of time for what it is that you do, because you have figured that out and you've consistently shown up and providing great service. It's awesome. So just whilst Kelly and I kind of bring this interview together, if anybody's got any particular questions that you want to ask Kelly or myself, but if you want to ask Kelly about how she's gone through this organic growth, please pop them in the comments box. We want to make sure that you are sat here getting the juice that you really need for your own business. So in terms of consistency, Kelly, I just want to go back to that, because I think sometimes when we've not been consistent in our business, we start to show up and then we don't get the traction that we really want. So in terms of consistency, what duration would you say that you had to be consistent for you to start to get that understanding of what it is that you do and that reputation?
Realistically, obviously, with building my business over the last 10 years, I had that reputation anyway. So I've always had a chunk of loyal fans, if that's what you want to call them. So it has been a long-term thing. So it's not something that I've done over the last 6 weeks. Yeah, I've built up momentum in the last 6 weeks because I have been more consistent than ever. But it's more about being consistent, but also having a stronger message. Because yes. I 100% knew who my soulmate client was. And that is something that I lacked over the last 10 years, is that complete clarity. So my marketing was all over the place. I struggled with the content. But in terms of the last 6 weeks, the consistency was built up over the summer. And that's when I started really seeing the change. So it was probably about three or 4 weeks that I started to see the difference in like getting people together.
So it's kind of, and I think 3 weeks is quite a good measure, because 3 weeks gets into your own psyche about being consistent, and then people have seen you and they keep seeing you, and then they start to expect to see you. So, it's not very long, 3 weeks. We've got 6 weeks until Christmas. This is such a key promotional time and an opportunity for you to get out there and connect with your soulmate clients. So actually, we could all do that, be consistent for 3 weeks and then start to see some traction. Yeah, so lots of people, Judith, Ruth, they're saying that they find it quite hard to help in other groups because they don't want to feel like they're butting in or trying to steal, or that they feel like they're stealing like the host's limelight. So have you got anything that you could share that would help overcome that particular belief?
Yeah, do you know what? I used to feel like that, and it was mindset. It was like, who am I to show up in somebody's group to tell them what to do? But it's not telling them what to do. The whole point of having a group is to build a community and to help each other. And if they feel that you're stealing their limelight, then they shouldn't be having the group in the first place. Like, if somebody is coming in and saying, don't be in Kelly's group and go into my group, then that's stealing somebody's limelight. But if somebody comes into my group and asks a question and then somebody else is answering it, my work is done. That's kind of my whole aim of having my group, is to have a group full of people who are facing the same challenges to help each other. It's not about me, and it shouldn't be about that owners group either. So I noticed that Ruth had said that she doesn't like promoting herself, and I don't think anybody does, and I hate it. But I don't go in groups and promote myself. I go in groups and just offer value and help people. And then by being consistent and doing that and showing up, people get to know your name and get used to you being in that group. And I think that that's important, and that's kind of testament in the groups that I'm in. So I just choose a couple of groups that I know that have all of my soul clients in, and just be consistent in showing up and looking at for questions that people are asking that I can answer. And now people are starting to tag me in groups because they used to be me being in that group. So it works. It's about changing your mindset, isn't it? It
is mindset. And I think it comes back to what you said earlier about coming from a point of service, not selling.
Yeah.
So if you switch your mindset round, so you think, right, okay, I'm going to appear in these couple of groups, I'm going to serve the audience in a really deep way. And if that's your only outcome, that's what works really well. And energetically, that's what people feel off you. They don't feel like you've been icky or sly. They can genuinely feel that you were coming to them from a point of service. So Judith said, maybe it's been that she feels like maybe it's been a coach and going into the coaches groups. But I would say that you're much more than a coach, Judith. It's about owning and identifying really specifically what your kind of basic business magic is, or your personal magic is, whatever it is that you do in your business. And for you to own that and to understand that there's a whole load of people out there who need your help and assistance. And whether you go into another coaches group like mine or somebody else's, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're coming from a point of service, like we said, 3 weeks made all the difference for Kelly. Mm. So, and this is obviously, bullshit free content. We're telling you the stuff that really works for us. And for yourself, it's like thinking about, well, how can I use this in my strategy, in my approach? So any final questions before I kind of conclude this interview? Just as we're coming to the end of this, Kelly, I would love for you to share with people, if they haven't already come across you, just how they can keep in connection with you.
You can come over and join my Facebook group, which is the Tech Angel Club. So if you just search in Facebook and look for the Tech Angel Club, then you can find that. I've also got an online tech club, and it's not techie at all, actually, despite the name. I think that puts people off. And it's just a whole hub of training. There's some stuff about launches and how you can do your launch and think about launch, and also about finding your soul client. So that's kind of like my baby at the minute, which is my Tech Angel Club online. And you can find that at thetechangelclub.co.uk. And you can also find me on my Facebook page, which is the Tech Angel.
Oh, Kelly, thank you so much. We have one last question from Jane that I just wanted to share. Oh, thank you, Ruth. Just wanted to share. So Jane says she's a hypnotherapist, works with one-to-one clients with a burning desire to offer cost-effective self-help programs for women. She's terrified of wasting too much time searching for people. Any tips? So it's basically, where can she find the right people and the right places to go and hang out? And how did you do that, Kelly? How did you decide which groups to hang out in?
It was just knowing who they are, what their problems are. So are they menopausal women? Would they go into a group that would be looking for help going through the menopause? So like I noticed, I think it was Judith earlier on saying that she wouldn't go into other coaches group. Well, as a VA, I wouldn't have probably gone into other VA groups because they're not my target audience. So I would think outside the box and think about where they would be hanging out. So usually it's to do with their problem area. So it'll not be a group full of coaches. Might be a group full of people who are looking for web design or do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So think about their struggles, because those groups will be where they hang out rather than the business that they are.
Brilliant. That's great. Any final questions? You can find me over in Live Your Abundant Life, and you can find Kelly in her lovely group, the Tech Angel Club. So any final questions or anything that kind of comes through as you sit and process this information, please come and connect with Kelly and I. Make sure that you get the support that you need in your business. And likewise, anybody who's watching the recording back, these are the places where you can come and hang out with Kelly and I and get some further information. It just leaves me to do two things. First of all, says a really massive thank you to Kelly for coming and showing up and sharing this. This is like the stuff that can transform your business. I mean, Kelly has created more income in the last 3 months of her business than she did in 2016. And like I said, this is the real juice. If Kelly can do it, you can do it, most definitely. So thank you to Kelly. I've really loved having you here.
Me too. Thank you very much for asking. And do you know what? I'm just delighted that I'm the first one to come on.
And a really big thank you to everybody here. We've had absolutely loads of people participating in this and viewing this content. I know that you've found it really, really useful. And I look forward to bringing you the next interview, which will be next Monday at 10:30. So until then, have a really fabulous week, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.